them up in tents. They perform vile surgery on the young girls to destroy their sexual pleasure. They're a wonderfully advanced culture and civilization. Not one word from the women's movement. Instead, they attack Republicans on abortion. And where's the gay community on this? They do throw gays off roofs, you do know. Saw pictures of that recently in Syria where ISIS took over. They threw them off roofs, tied their hands behind their back, and mercilessly killed 2 old gay men, threw them off a roof. And the crowd cheered of the Islamo-fascists below as they chanted, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar. Not one word from the gay community in America. Instead, they attack who? Republicans and conservatives. Why? Liberalism is a mental disorder. We are at war. We are at war, but it's worse than 1941. Because now they're here. And now you have a government zero bringing them in as fast as possible from the opposition. It would be as though you had a crazy president who had sympathy for Germany and Germans, and despite the evidence of the madness of Hitler and the madness of the German government, he says he's going to bring in thousands and thousands of Germans who want to come to America. And no one says a word because they're afraid of being called a germophile or something like that. This is how crazy the country has become. We are at war because they are at war. Whether or not you accept the fact that we're at war doesn't matter. They are at war, but you don't accept that we should be at war. Instead, you have a man who has reversed Teddy Roosevelt's statement. Teddy Roosevelt said, talk softly and carry a big stick. Obama talks loudly and carries a limp stick. The only reason he did anything in Syria is because he was forced to do so by the real man, Putin. And so yesterday we see the papers. Oh, they took out Jihadi Jean with a missile. And then today there's an attack in Paris. Now London is on high alert. All of the wonderful sissies in London are now running around screeching. Running around in their ballet slippers all through the back rooms of London, screeching about terrorism in London. As Cameron, the liar, does nothing to defend the people of England. Nothing. And he was supposed to be a conservative. And by the way, where's Waldo Obama today? Where is Waldo Obama after this attack? What's he on, another fundraising binge somewhere? Entertaining Sister Salusia in the White House? Entertaining Black Lives Matter in the White House? Where is he right now? What kind of leadership is this? Where is he right now? Talking to Black Lives Matter in the White House? While this is going on? Paris is in terror? As the Muslims go on a rampage throughout Paris? Not a word from Barack Hussein Obama. So I'm a bad guy, huh? I'm the bad guy. I'm the one. I'm the evil one. I'm the one you were told was the bad one. I've been warning you for years about borders, language, and culture. And I've been reviled for this. I've been hated for this. I've been smeared by this. Everything you can imagine has been thrown at me because of this. Was I right or wrong? Do you know, I am the only member of the American media banned from entering Britain. Do you know that? Do you know why? For saying things like this. And they said I was a bad guy for saying this in 2009. The Labour Party said you may not enter Britain, you're a terrorist. That's a real fact. Look it up. Nobody else in talk radio, nobody else in the media is banished for entering England except me. Why? Well, I'll let you figure it out. Government zero says it all. No borders, no language, no culture. Do you want a man like that in your country? Daring to tell the people the truth about what their government is doing to them out of cowardice, fear, double dealing, God knows why. God knows why when a gang of criminals take over a nation, what might happen. If a gang of criminals took over America, could they be doing more damage to this country at a faster rate than is being done right now? Jihadi Jean dead, MI5 and police in high alert amid fears of ISIL revenge attack now in Britain. They're sitting quaking in their ballet slippers. Angela Merkel's future in doubt as she faces coup after her own party criticizes asylum policies. She lets in Muslims by the hundreds of thousands, pouring in like army ants marching into Germany for the freebies. And Merkel, no one knows how she even survives another day, why she's not taken out in handcuffs. No one understands it. Russia's the only country that's doing anything. And what happened? What happened? What happened to Russia because they took on ISIS? Well, you know what happened. The media called him Hitler. Hillary called him Hitler. 30 dead now. Now 30 dead. You know what the number's really going to be? Kalashnikov and grenade attacks in French capital. Gunmen Gunmen, you hear gunmen. Shouted Allah Akbar. So that's as close as they can come, the boys and the girls in the media, and they can say Allah Akbar. They're allowed to say that. Because otherwise they could be fired for saying Muslim or Islam. They can't say that. You can't say Muslim did it, Islam did it. They shouted Allah Akbar. Grenades thrown into a restaurant. Gee, that could really ruin a liberal's night on the town. You know that? You know, one grenade could really ruin your meal in a Parisian restaurant. They could really upset your trip to Provence if you stopped in Paris on the way to or from. And guess who threw the grenades? It wasn't the conservative who opposed abortion. It wasn't someone wearing a cross who you detest with everything in you. It was someone screaming Allah Akbar. All of you multiculturalists out there. It's going to get much worse, my friends, before it ever gets better. And the only thing that can save us from a sure death is a nationalist who slams the borders shut and starts deportations by the hundreds of thousands. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUICO. I don't want to get you sick, but it just got worse. Now they're saying 40 dead. You know it's going to run into the hundreds. Do you know what the Muslim madmen are doing in the concert hall as we speak? Civilized humans are in a concert hall watching a ballet. The Muslim madmen come in. They're shotgunning people to death in the auditorium as I speak to you. And the French don't want to report this as a terror incident. The vermin in the American media are not reporting this as a terror incident. Did you hear what I just said? They're using shotguns to execute people by the dozens in the concert hall. And you're not sure about the war on terror. You're not sure who struck the World Trade Center. You're not sure if we should have open borders. You're not sure if we don't need a multicultural America with more Muslims from Syria or from Africa. More women walking around covered head to toe with a tent. You think it's just really great multiculturalism, don't you? Well, my friends, there's only one solution to this, and I don't see it in the near future. We know that they say that they killed Jihadi Jean just yesterday. Who knows if that's true? Is this a revenge attack the next day? I don't think it's connected, by the way. Because there's no way to coordinate an attack, a series of attacks like this in one day. No way. Ask anyone in the business. This has been planned a long time, and the French police or the intelligence services were caught unprepared once again. This is the fourth or fifth time the French intelligence services were shown to be totally inadequate. I hope our government is made up of better stuff than they. I hope that our CIA and FBI and DHS is not looking at child pornography right now. I hope they're really looking at the folks that they let into the country by the hundreds of thousands. I hope they're conducting a search around the country for them. They tell us they know where they are. Every day they tell us they're all over. They're in 50 states. Well, why don't they go grab them by the neck and pull them out by the baklava? Just yank them out already before they kill somebody. You idiots, you. You incompetent morons in the government. You idiots, you. You're committing homicide for the nation. You know who they are. You tell us, the FBI says this, in all 50 states, they know where they are. Why don't they yank them out by their scarves and throw them into a dark cell before they kill some children? Oh, because that would offend Marvin in the ACLU. It would offend the Southern Poverty Law Center. It would offend the ACLU. It would offend all of the great geniuses who are suicidal. Look at how they live. Look what they do to themselves, and you want them dictating how you live in this country? I'm just getting warmed up here. If I were not on the radio, I'd say things that are a little tougher than what I'm saying right now. Let me tell you, there's only one solution to this problem, and you know what it is. Every instinct in you knows what has to be done to save this country. And that's why I went off against Trump, wasting that valuable time on the podium, talking about Ben Carson with the this and the that. He shouldn't have attacked Carson to begin with. But he should have been attacking the Islamo-fascists. He should have been attacking Hillary Clinton, who caused this insanity with the Arab Spring, opening up the borders, flooding Europe with Libyans because she broke down Libya. It's a fact of reality. It's not hyperbole. I'm not making it up. Everyone who studied this knows that's the truth. So here we are. 855-400-7282. We're at war. Make no mistake about it. Ted on KSFO. Fire away. You got the floor. 30 seconds or less.
Real simple. We're more than at war, because the last time we were at war like this was in 1942, and this time we actually have our government working against us, helping, aiding, and abetting the enemy, just like Quisling did in Norway. That's all I had to say.
You must have read Government Zero in the chapter Zero Immigration. You must have read the subhead, Whose Country Is This? Or did you read Sleeper Cells Amongst Us on page 161? Or did you read The Sleepers Awaken on page 166? Or did you read Importing Crime on page 169? How about The Sleepers Awaken on page 166? You think it's just a book? You think it's just words thrown together on a page? It's a manifesto, people. The sleepers have awakened. They are all over America, according to the FBI, and yet they do nothing to yank them out by their filthy headscarves.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
Paris, as the Muslims keep shooting. It's an ongoing death brigade. 100 people are held hostage in a concert hall. They are being shotgunned to death by the practitioners of the religion of peace, screaming Allahu Akbar. And you want Syrian Muslim refugees brought in by Barack Hussein Obama? Are you insane? Are you insane? This should change the entire quotient. This should be the end of the road for liberalism. This should be the end of the road for the Democrat Party. This should be the end of the road for Hillary's campaign. But guess what? It won't even affect any of it, because they own the media. Because they own the jihadis in the media, the liberal jihadists in the media, who will never, ever tell you the truth. The death toll climbs. Innocent people at a concert hall doing something that civilized people have done for ages, being shotgunned by Islamo-fascist throwbacks. And we're bringing them into the country. So, not purposely. We're not bringing in terrorists. Why, these are the good ones. The FBI says there's a lot of bad ones. Where'd they come from? Where'd the bad ones come from? Mr. Comey says there are terrorists in 50 states in America. Where'd the bad ones come from? I guess they came along with the good ones. Or I guess they became bad while reading some literature while they were good. Well, in either case, you know where the locus of the infection is. As a trained scientist in epidemiology, if you know where the infection is starting, what you do is you try to stop the infection at the source. Oh, no, but you bring in more. You bring in more because you figure out that, well, you don't think about anything. All you do is you think of the voting. See, if you're a community organizer like Barry Obama, what you figure out is you bring in as millions of people as you can from Mexico, Honduras, Guatemala, doesn't matter where, China, Iraq, Syria, Africa, doesn't matter, because they'll all be Democrats. That's all that matters. Doesn't matter who dies, what happens to the nation. Doesn't matter if it becomes a cesspool. All that matters is that the Democrats can stick their beaks into the government, into the treasury, and rob people for another 100 years. That's all that matters to criminals. Maybe I'm getting worked up a little too much. It's Friday. I'm supposed to calm down. It's supposed to be a calm day, isn't it? Just a happy little rock and roll Friday. Well, how can you be happy when there are 50 people dead right now? You know it's going to be in the hundreds. You know there's 100 hostages being held as we speak right now by Islamo-fascists in a concert hall. The reports, the guns are going off and they're killing them with shotguns in Paris. How did the Parisians let this happen again? How? Well, they must have known who they were. The FBI knows who they are here, but they won't do anything. So the French are the same thing. Their hands are tied by the psychos who run the government. Bill on KSFO, 30 seconds or less. We got a lot of people dying to talk. Go ahead, please make your point.
Media, I'm in North Carolina, no local coverage on the news of this thing. ABC, CBS, NBC, sports, traffic, you name it.
Right. You're probably hearing it on my show, and you're searching the dial, praying to hear something new.